Did you know that in 1988, a single piece of code created by a curious graduate student took down 10% of the entire internet? The Morris worm, as it became known, wasn't even designed to be malicious, but it exposed just how vulnerable a hyper-connected world was. Fast forward today, where we are fighting AI-powered attacks, nation-state actors, and ransomware gangs demanding millions in cryptocurrency. So how did we get here? Today, I wanted to take a moment to dive into the evolution of software security. From the days when a simple firewall was enough to our zero trust future, where we assume everyone is a potential threat. In the early days of computing, security was almost an afterthought. Networks were isolated, users were technical professionals, and threats were minimal. The first firewall concepts emerged in the late 1980s as simple packet filters. They checked network traffic based on source, destination, and port numbers, kind of like a bouncer at a club checking IDs, but with a very basic list of who to let in. Sometimes this worked, sometimes it didn't. But as computers became more connected, new threats emerged. In the late 80s and early 90s, this saw a birth of computer viruses that spread via floppy disks. Then came the watershed moment, the mainstream adoption of the internet. Suddenly your computer wasn't an island anymore. It was connected to millions of other systems worldwide. And with that connectivity came unprecedented risk. This new landscape demanded new solutions, and the cybersecurity industry, as we know it today, began to take shape. By the late 1990s and early 2000s, organizations realized that a single layer of defense wasn't enough. The concept of defense in depth emerged, multiple security controls working together. Firewalls became more sophisticated with stateful inspection and application layer filtering. Antivirus engines evolved to heuristics rather than just signatures, and we saw the emergence of intrusion detection systems that could spot suspicious behaviors on the network. This period also marked the beginning of security awareness as a discipline. Companies started to realize that their employees could be their greatest vulnerability or their first line of defense. The cybersecurity profession itself was formalizing, with certifications like CISSP becoming industry standards and specialized roles emerging. No longer was security just an IT task, it became its own discipline with dedicated experts. But even as defenses improved, attackers continued to evolve their tactics. In the mid-2000s to 2010s brought massive technological shifts that forced security to transform yet again. Cloud computing moved data and applications outside traditional network boundaries. The shift broke the old security model that relied on a hardened perimeter. When your data and applications live in someone else's data center, when your employees work from coffee shops and home offices, the concept of defensive perimeter became almost meaningless. Around the same time, we saw the rise of big data and machine learning in security. With threats becoming too numerous and sophisticated for humans to analyze manually, AI systems began to help detect patterns and anomalies that would indicate potential breaches. The regulatory landscape also transformed dramatically. The introduction of GDPR in Europe and similar regulations worldwide shifted the focus from just preventing breaches to also protecting privacy and maintaining compliance. And let's not forget one of the biggest shifts in the last decade, the emergence of DevOps and its security-minded cousin, DevSecOps. The speed of software development accelerated dramatically, and security had to find ways to keep up without becoming a bottleneck. The old model of security as a gatekeeper at the end of development was dead. Security had to be built in from the beginning and automated throughout the process, often called shift left. So where are we headed? Security continues to evolve at breakneck speeds. Quantum computing looms on the horizon, threatening to break many of the encryption algorithms we rely on today. This isn't science fiction, it's a near future reality that security teams are preparing for right now. Zero trust architecture has emerged as a new paradigm. Never trust, always verify. Every access request is fully authenticated, authorized, and encrypted, regardless of where it originates. It's a radical departure from the days of being on the corporate network meant you were trusted. Continuous security monitoring has become essential, with a focus on detection and response rather than just prevention. The reality is that breaches will happen. The question really becomes, how quickly can you identify and contain them? Today's threat landscape is unrecognizable compared to what we faced even a decade ago. Ransomware has evolved from an annoyance to an existential business threat. with average payments now exceeding $1 million. Nation-state actors have sophisticated capabilities, one thought impossible just even a few years ago, targeting critical infrastructure and intellectual property. And the cybercrime as a service model has lowered the barrier to entry for would-be attackers. In this environment, a reactive security approach is doomed to fail. Organizations must become proactive. Threat hunting, red teaming, and assuming breach are no longer optional activities. Perhaps most importantly, we've learned that security cannot be solved in silos. Information sharing between companies, industries, and even countries has become critical. The defenders must collaborate if we hope to keep pace with attackers who already share tools, techniques, and targets. The evolution of software security reflects our broader digital transformation as our reliance on technology has grown. So too has the importance of protecting it. From simple packet filtering to AI-powered security platforms, from isolated systems to globally connected ecosystems, our approach to security has had to continuously adapt and evolve. And that evolution is far from complete. The security challenges of tomorrow will require new thinking, new technologies, and most importantly, a security mindset that permeates every aspect of how we build and use technology. So what security challenges are you facing in your organization? Drop a comment below, and if you found this overview valuable, hit that subscribe button for more insights on cybersecurity, risk management, and the future of digital protection. Until next time, stay secure. And if you want to learn more about software security, check out the Application Security Program Handbook for tips on how to build a software security program in your organization. You can also go to secureworkcoach.com for training material to help you advance your software skills. Until next time.